Hello everyone, my name is Temitope Samo Akimoladun. I'm the program manager for Limestone. We build solutions that solve community and property management problems. We've been into this for a couple of years, and our ultimate goal is definitely to ensure that we have very great communal living. So as far as there's a property and as far as there's a community, talk about gated communities, talk about estates. We provide solutions that ensure that everyone in the community is safe, the people and also the facilities within the estates. Yeah, so limestone is a very provide like a wide range of solution. It's like an all-in-one solution for managing properties and as well as communities. So I have to state that we have like three different suite of apps. We have our community portal. So this community portal is essentially for community managers. So as far as you have more than two properties that you are managing, you qualify to use our community portal because it's more like a central portal where you have access to all of your facilities. It has a couple of features for itself. I'll come back to that later. So aside the community portal, we also have what we call the resident super app. So this resident super app essentially takes care of the residents. So the idea is as simple as if community managers have a portal where they manage the communities, there has to be like a form of interaction between the community managers and the residents in and of themselves. Yeah, so we are talking about features like dues management. It means that as much as the community manager is able to create due, we also have to like provide a system where the residents can also pay their dues. So that's the interaction between, that's one of the interactions between community managers and the residents. So we have what we call the resident super app that has a couple of features that essentially serve or benefit the residents. So the last suite of app we have is what we call like the security app, Limestone security app. So this is a lightweight app that basically serves the security agents in all of the estates that Limestone powers. So if the estate needs to like grant access, for example, it happens on like the security app. It means that there has to be like an interaction. If it's a code or a QR code, all of these things have to happen on a device here, and this device we created like a lightweight application for the security agents to be able to like grant access to guests into like estates that is being powered by Limestone. I will quickly run over some of the major features that we have. On the community side, we looked at the major problems community managers face at this very point. So one of it is that in a lot of instances, when people come into an estate, the process of documentation is usually manual. That's a whole lot of paperwork, and we know how unsustainable these paperwork are. So the first solution we provided is we help you store your data on the cloud. So what it means is we have all of your data, any documents you might think of, we have all of these details, all of this data on the cloud, and at any point you can always access all of those details. So details around the information of your residents, whether they're landlords, whether they're tenants, whether they're occupants, you have access to all of those information, and by basically like at your fingertip you can access all of this at any point, at any time of the day. So moving on, we also help community managers manage dues. So we realize that every estate has like some sort of dues, which is essential for the growth of the estates and the communities. So managing this due is like a very, very important part of the estates in order to ensure that there's no frustration on both residents' end and also the community managers' end. So Limestone is a very customer-centric company, and because of that, I've had interactions with a good number of community managers, and we realize from those interactions that there's usually a lot of back and forth, particularly because of how dues are being paid. It's not centralized. It means that someone can make a transfer at some point, and documenting it can be on another platform and all of those things. But with Limestone, what we do is we centralize this entire process. So you just need to validate all of these checks and balances by simply logging into the community portal, and you can see a trail of how your funds come in and how they go out. So we think that this is something that is very, very important, particularly because of how the world is definitely moving digital, and we essentially digitalize all of this process to ensure that it becomes seamless. So you don't have to stress yourself, you don't have to worry over managing all of these things, because we centralize it for you. So like I said earlier, access to resident details is one of the major features on the community portal. Dues management is one of the major features as well. So we have this very interesting feature also. We call it complaint management. So we realize that in a lot of instances here, residents need to raise complaints, and these complaints are very, very important, because if a community would grow, if a community would develop, it's usually dependent on the quality of complaints they get from their residents, because they use all of these complaints to improve the community, to grow and develop the community. So we created a system called a feature called complaint management. So it means that all the residents can easily raise issue logs, and when they raise those issue logs, as a community manager, you access those issue logs, and you can therefore find a way to resolve them. So in a very basic term, you can know the kind of issues that is most occurring. It will help you as a community manager to prioritize the kind of problems you solve at what points and what point. Also, we have this very interesting feature called broadcasts. So broadcast is essentially that we believe that for interactions to exist within a community, there has to be exchange of ideas, exchange of basically conversations have to go on here. So we created a broadcast features that helps seamless communication between community managers and their residents. So let's say an estate usually locks their gates by 10 p.m, but this time around there was some sort of conversation and it has been extended to 11 p.m. And there's a serious possibility that the information does not go across to all of the residents at the same time. But with our broadcast feature, you can notify all of the residents at the same time for them to be aware of such development. So it's pretty different from the usual messaging platforms like WhatsApp and all, because on Limestone's broadcast system, there's a way you can create broadcast for certain set of group that you wouldn't access on the generic messaging platforms like WhatsApp or Telegram. So using our broadcast feature, you can decide that we are creating a broadcast that is specific for landlords, meaning that other residents in that estate will not get access to that information. So you simply do that by clicking landlord when you are trying to create that broadcast. It's something that is very unique. It's completely different from when you have maybe a messaging platform that is general and you are trying to sieve out who the landlords are and who other residents are. So we look into all of these processes and we ensure that we tailor it to solve the specific needs of community managers. Alright, so another very important and interesting feature on the community portal is the wallet system. So our wallet system is particularly very interesting because there is something we call the sub account, and what this does is that when a community manager creates dues, so these dues can be different types. You can have say service charge, you can have say maintenance charge, whatsoever dues that community managers create. We have a sub account system that ensures that these monies are automatically splitted into all of these sub accounts. So what it means is that the administration of it is no manual. So you don't get to receive 100,000 naira from a resident, and you have to be the one that manually does the splitting into different type of charges here. But our systems ensures that we automate that process for you, and this particularly makes our financial and wallet system a very, very interesting one. So I'll briefly talk about some of the important features we have on our resident super app. features like access control that ensures that when people are coming to your estate, you can generate a code for them so that there's no back and forth. They just like give the code to the security and again access to the estates. We have like panic alerts that helps you to manage emergencies. So we understand that there's need for emergency management in estate, so we built a very robust panic alert system. So you can also pay for your dues, like I said earlier, as well as utility like electricity, like meter, like electricity, like water, and all of those other utilities. So all of these are built in our robust system to ensure that both residents and as well as community managers enjoy the best of limestone.